everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. It's hard to imagine this not being a fun game to watch. It's the Giants going up against the Rams. And we'll send you over to L.A. now, where Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis have the call.
Larry, we haven't had NFL football in this city for 22 years, but football is back here in Los Angeles. Tonight we move on to week 2 of the preseason, and we've got a good matchup here between the New York Giants and the Los Angeles Rams. Welcome in, everyone. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. So you've got 1 week of preseason games in the books. Now you start to really assess some of the vets and, of course, some of the young players.
You're exactly right, because now there's a week's worth of film out there for everyone to watch. And for guys who may or may not make these particular teams, that film will be out there around the league, so maybe they can catch on somewhere else if they have to. But this would be a lot of fun to see how much time the veterans play versus how much time the young guys get.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. So out come the Rams now for their first possession. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the guy out of California, the former Cal Bear, Jared Goff.
While in college, quarterback teams that improved their win total from 1 his freshman year to 5 his sophomore year to 8 his junior year. Love that type of improvement. Love that type of diligence.
Here's the first carry now for Todd Gurley. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. The offense on your screen now, and Todd Gurley on your screen. That is the back of the present and the future.
And what an amazing return for him from a knee injury his last year in college at the University of Georgia. Now it's like it never happened. There's nothing he can't do on the football field. And if you're a defense, that's a long day trying to prepare for Todd Gurley.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. Now a draw as Goff gives to Gurley. And he'll get about 6 up to the 27-yard line. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
They'll try and pick up the first with Gurley. And he'll cut it to the right sideline. And oh, he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. Now Gurley staying down. Well, let's hope he's all right. See you here in a preseason game. We'll be right back. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. And a first carry of the game here for Trey Mason. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And quickly the starting 11 now for the New York defense.
Jason Pierre-Paul, so good to see him back on the field, resuming his place as one of the elite pass rushers in the league.
So what will they do? On the ground, through the air, let's see. 2nd and 9.
Here we go. Green, 39.
They'll run again with Mason. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Lewis Delmas on the tackle.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
And 5 in the secondary now for the Giants on 3rd down. Goff He finds his man. It's Austin. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2.
Love the call by the offensive coordinator, recognizing the situation very well, calling for the play-action pass, and completing it.
Well, they've been practicing goal line offense all week. Let's see if they're able to capitalize here. Now gone. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And he's going to take this one in for a Rams touchdown. Trey Mason, a 1-yard touchdown reception. And the Rams take it right down and score on the opening drive. Didn't have anything downfield, swung it out to the flat. He did the rest.
Such a staple of so many offenses we see now. You know, in our discussions with offense coordinators, how many times do they tell us, hey, this offense is designed for either a touchdown or a check down. We saw the check down on that play, and boy, was it successful.
We saw a touchdown, too. It's up, it's good, and the Rams take a 7-0 lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback, a multiple-time Pro Bowler. It's, of course, Eli Manning.
I still remember a scouting report that a former Giants GM had on Eli Manning coming out of Mississippi. He simply said he has it. And we always talk about the it factor, which means they're going to play large in big moments, in key situations, and Eli Manning has always had that.
They go play action here on first down. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but able to take it inside the 40-yard line.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
And that penalty will wipe out a big gain by the offense. They'll send Beckham alone to the left side. Manning. And his first look is incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver, and that'll bring up second down. Here we go now with a look at the offensive starters for the New York Football Giants.
And Rashad Jennings, a running back, 7th-round pick when he came out. People tended to overlook him a little bit. But the last half of 2015, when he got the ball full-time, he showed his wares. Over 800 yards, he definitely has a 1,000-yard season in his future.
Manning to throw on second down. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. The defense here for the Rams.
I played college football at the same time as T.J. McDonald's father, Tim. And what a great player he was. T.J. definitely is following in his father's footsteps.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. And Manning keeps it himself. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
There may have been a little bit of an element of surprise there. 3rd and inches, and they go quarterback sneak. I still feel like this is a play that often is reserved for 4th down.
So the run moves the chains, and here we go on first down. Now this time Manning will throw. Looking middle, and that's complete. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. On 1st and 10, here's Manning. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. That throw good for 4. It's second down. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or two. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future all-pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
Really, it's a solid draft class from a year ago. They were able to address some key weak spots on their team and fill in some holes.
And they were able to identify the players they wanted early in the process. Got a little bit of luck, as some guys may have fallen to them. But for the most part, knew their philosophy and stuck to it.
They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on third. Throwing is Manning on third down. He's got Cruz complete. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
I feel like Eli Manning has just gone from downfield bomber to a guy who can complete everything.
He can hit him underneath now, can't he?
Yeah, we just saw that there with that pass completion. The maturity of a veteran taken with the defense will give him.
This will be caught inside the 10. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Odell Beckham, 36 yards. And the Giants are an extra point away from tying up this football game. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. That's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long, man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
And it's no good. He misses the extra point, and this remains a 7-6 game. So we're back to a one-point game now as the kickoff comes. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Giants defense getting ready to go here. Last drive, touchdown surrendered. Here, see if they can stop him.
It's always a constant battle of letting the last series go, good or bad, but especially bad. Give up a touchdown. Okay, forget the finger pointing, forget the blame. Go back out and play the defense you know you're capable of and help your team out.
And probably look to the leaders as always.
As always. They're going to be the ones going to grab some people and say, all right, let's do this thing. Really tough drive, but that run help salvage something there, because now there's something positive that came out of it. They got to see good blocking, good push by the offensive line, wide receivers trying to get involved, a good run by the back, and now maybe it'll be a catalyst for them to look at going forward, watching it on tape. Maybe they can keep incorporating that type of a run into their offense. Ah, yes, that's today's NFL defensive tackle. Not just a space eater anymore. A guy with agility, movement skills, who can rush the passer and make plays in the offensive backfield.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So you heard the word. This is a neutral zone infraction.
Yeah, the defender wanted to try and get back after he had jumped, unable to do so.
Let's go. Green, 30.
On first down, gone. On the left side, it's McDonald. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and it'll be a second down. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground.
I'm wondering if the same thing went through your mind as mine. When I see a big man like that make a catch, all I keep thinking to myself is, big man with football. Look out, everyone. He may not juke you a whole lot, right? He may not run past you because of his size. You're talking about a guy weighing in the 270 range. But, boy, once he gets his mitts on the ball, he's going to be tough to bring down.
Give him 5 yards there, and it'll bring up second down. Play fake to Mason. Goff. Finding time. This one complete. Right side to McDonald. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 1 quarter down. 7-6 our score. We're back to Southern California right after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Head & Shoulders. Shoulders were made for greatness, not dandruff.
Back live now to begin the second quarter with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's the Rams with a football to get us going, and they've got it here with a first down. Now Mason, and he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
That play never got off the ground because of the defensive front. They owned the offensive line, which allowed the linebackers to see their openings and run straight to the ball. That's why that play just never had a chance.
And he gets it down to the 32. It'll be a pickup of 12 yards. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw. Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
And New York set to take the field. And they're hoping to capture some of that magic they had last time out when they were able to put together a scoring drive. But they're still down here, Charles.
Not the major concern, though, because of what you talked about. They scored the last time out. They feel good about themselves. They feel like their game plan is now in effect. They know how to attack and what point.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up second down. Boy, he came in off the edge so quickly there.
Look out, because that's exactly what it was being shouted by the offensive lineman to his quarterback, because he had no chance to block him.
First chance for the backup here to throw. And his first throw here is incomplete. So a second down incompletion now brings up third down. Now Nassib. And unable to connect on the long pass. It falls down incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's sensed being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted. It's spotted at the 14-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Now they run. It's Mason. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. Only a yard of the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down. Still 9 yards to go on third down.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Yeah, it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
Looking middle, and it's incomplete. The intended receiver was Trey Mason, and it's third down. And the offense looks to pick up the first here on third after that incompletion. Here's Mannion. A dump off for Mason. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field. But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
No gain on the play there, second down. Offense still needing 10 yards, second down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
A reminder coming up at halftime. Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando with our halftime report, but business to take care of before that.
Here we go now. Green, 39. Green.
Throwing is Mannion. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down. It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9, and they need 10 yards out of it on third.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Looking left side, and it's complete. Touchdown, LA! Tyler Higbee, 35 yards, and the Rams add on to their lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Nugent on now for the extra point. And it's up. It's good. Our score, 14-6. The Rams kickoff team on the field, and here we go with the ball in the air. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. New York set to take the field, and they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Massive. It gets this one to Dwayne Harris. So they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down. The Rams go nickel here defensively on third.
3-19. 3-19.
He'll drop to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested, and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard.
Here we go. All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They're indeed going for it. Is under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Mark Barron able to get in there and and take him down for a loss of 3. And the Rams getting set to go now. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with it? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
They'll drop to throw. On the screen, this is Mason. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
So many offense want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Giant offense now making their way back out onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And that is incomplete. Jarrell Adams, the tight end, was the target. 3rd down here. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. On play action, they'll throw. And brought in by Jarrell Adams. It goes for a gain of 10, and it's a 1st down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Here we go. 3-19. 3-19. Over.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Now Nassib. Hits his target, the tight end, Will Tye. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime.
Let's go. Green 39. Green 39. Watching that party.
Nassib. And they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete.
Pass interference. Defense.
So a pass interference here, and this is obviously a call we see all the time, but for the defender, it's becoming almost impossible to play defense in some of these situations.
You're trying to play through the receiver to the football. If there's any contact at all before he gets there, those officials will throw the flag and call interference.
It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. 5 yards left for the offense. It's 2nd down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
He'll drop to throw. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. Boy, they're down only 1 score. Still first half, but they're going to line up for the onside kick. So a field goal here, they're still down, but they put a dent into that lead before the break.
And that's got to feel good because now they've seen that they can put some more points on the board, and that gives them a whole second half to get back to where they want to be, and that's in the lead.
And now the Giants, they get the officials' attention and take another timeout. So as they take it over, we step aside. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. Let's take a look back at the first half. Both teams have done enough to be leading here to this point, but in a close game, you know the second half is going to have some more twists and turns, which should lead to some excitement. So here we go. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Rams with the football early in the first. Gurley's got it on the run. He'll pick up more than 50 yards on the play. Rams still on the field. Completion will be made here to a wide-open man. And he caps off the 7-play drive with a score. That puts them up by a touchdown. Giants line up at the 36. Manning's on point with the throw. He caps off the 8-play drive with a touchdown. This cuts the deficit to 1. Rams line up at the 36. The catch is made after a quick pass, and he caps off the long drive with the TD.
Thank you, LR. Appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. Fielded about a yard deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Caught right side, Davis. And he's brought down, but not before getting across midfield to the 45.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Here's the former 7th-round pick, Rashad Jennings. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. They're down here in the third quarter, trying to get something going. Going to the outside there didn't work out, though.
Yeah, and from the cheap seats and from where you and I are sitting, we did pay a pretty good price to get in here, right? You often wonder to yourself, why do you make that type of a call? That one went for no gain. But I think this offense thinks to itself, if we keep running these plays, eventually something may pop. It just didn't on that one. That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield.
And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Charles, when plays like that work, it's a thing to behold, but sometimes we see why they're going deep in the playbook.
And how many times have we been at practice and heard all the other guys chirping about, you know, I used to play quarterback in high school, I can do this. Until it becomes a game situation. Not quite the same in many cases. Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
So it looks like somebody may have forgotten the snap count, and a 5-yard penalty ensues.
False start, offense.
Offense needs something here on second down. It is second and long. Mannion. And, boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
And the giant rush gets home as down he goes. It'll be a sack and a loss of 3, but more importantly, it brings up 4th down.
That's his second sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
Here's Johnny Hecker now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. This will be fielded at the 17. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. They'll begin the drive with Rashad Jennings. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set them up.
Look to throw here. They go screenplay with Jennings. It'll be a pickup of 8 on the screen, and it sets up a 3rd down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
So completion on 2nd down, that brings up 3rd. They'll try and sneak it here. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
I don't know about you, but I like this call. 3rd and inches, and instead of worrying about getting it back to a running back and maybe there's some penetration from the defensive front, just go ahead and take it, move forward, and pick up the 1st down.
And as we say often, shows confidence in your offensive line. Mike Neal, the one who got him down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
They run again with Jennings. So from the 40 to the 45, 5-yard run.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
So they brought in an extra defensive back here, so probably not expecting a run on 3rd and 3.
A good call.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he fires one, but incomplete. Will tie the intended receiver. And that brings up 4th down. Here's Brad Wing now. On for his 2nd punt. He'd take a repeat of his 1st. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. The drive begins with Mason, and he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Brandon, that play ended so fast, it's almost as if the quarterback handed it to the runner, and the tackler was there right away for a loss of yardage.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. He was in search of his tight end, Tyler Higbee, and it's third down.
But there was no trace of nervousness there. He was able to diagnose that play from his linebacker position, stay in excellent coverage, and bat the ball away.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. He's got time. And nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Here's Johnny Hacker now as he's on to punt for L.A. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. It's taken to the 26. Call that one an even 60 yards, 6-0. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They begin the drive with Jennings on the ground. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Whenever I go to a team's practice facility and watch them work, I love to watch the defensive guys in what they call pursuit drills. The ball goes either towards them or away from them. How fast will they respond? On this play, the defensive end responded better than anyone and made a really nice play.
Back now in Los Angeles. It's the Giants with possession of the football but needing points as we start quarter number 4. Try a little trickery here on the end around. And he is going to lose yardage here. He lost 4 there, and it's third down. And yet again, this run game just continues to be completely shut off.
Completely stymied. I mean, they're trying to get some consistency, trying to find places to roam. They just haven't been there throughout this game.
Nassib. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Travis Carey. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. Well, when someone other than the quarterback is throwing the football, it's either beautiful or a disaster, and here it was the latter.
Nowhere in between, right? You're exactly right. It takes some fortitude to call that type of a play. But when it doesn't work, oh, boy, you wish you hadn't.
And this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Holding offense.
So he got his hands a little too far outside. The ref caught him, threw the flag. They'll wind up losing a full 10 yards on the play. And that'll bring up second down. They come out here in the I. Here's Mannion. And he comes back with one complete. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Here we go. All right, now look at 56.
On play action, they'll throw. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game of the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over. Now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
And he's brought down.
Holding offense.
So a little grabbing there, but this time it goes against the offense for holding. That'll go as a loss of 9, and it leads to 3rd down.
Now let's go. What's in there, Barney?
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Jennings. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
One of the toughest things for an offensive lineman to learn is the ability to get in space and hit people who are moving targets. And linebackers are not easy ones to hit because they know how to move, juke, and make you miss. And that's exactly what he did on that play. A nice play for the defense.
Going to throw right side here, complete. 1 score down, here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Green 39. Green 39. Black 99 Philly. Here we go.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And that is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Rams are going to take possession of the turnover on downs. He'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. I've seen, you and I have both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here, 4th down play, make sure you focus just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
They come out here in the eye. They'll run here with Mason. Spinning past him. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down? Let's see if they can convert here on 3rd and 3. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up in the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
You give them 5 yards there, and it's enough for the first. So they're leading. They have possession of the football, and certainly this is where they just want to milk the clock.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
The defense won that play so fast that I think if the running back even had time to notice if anyone was there, it was just a blink of an eye, and there was a loss on the play.
So it's Rams football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Mason. And he's going to fight his way. And now the Giants will stop play as they take a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is 3rd down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take this one down. And now the Giants, they get the officials' attention and take another timeout. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice. An ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
They'll look to throw. And this one is incomplete. Second down following the incompletion. He's back to throw. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that'll bring up a third down. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Now it's Jennings. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. Back to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before taking this down to the 8. A big play there on the catch and run. 37 yards.
Coaches really don't care from what position they get this, but run after the catch ability, rack ability, is often the difference between winning and losing and changing field position.
He'll look to throw. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. And now look at him go. He's at the 50, the 30, the 20, 10. And he will bring it back. It's an interception return for a Rams touchdown. Short throw, pick six right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And last time, decent field position through the pick six. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right?
And got his man complete. 20, 10, 5. And he takes this one into the end zone. And all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter.
And there's the touchdown that they needed, so they'll celebrate. But the guys on the sidelines, they've got to stay focused. The onside kick team, they need them to get the ball back.
Yeah, part one of the equation done. Now they need to convert, then get that onside kick. And now in a 9-point game, they'll still just need to go for 1 here. And it's good, so that will get them back within 1 score. Those are the kind of drives they like on offense, from the coordinator to the quarterback, the line, everybody. 1-play drive and into the end zone for 6. So with just under 40 seconds to go, you figure this is going to need to bounce their way if they have any shot. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
The Rams go victory formation as they take the knee. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Rams are victorious here as we say so long from Exposition Park in L.A.